season. My name is Lestro, and with me, as always, is the Guru.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
And you know how this goes. We're here to talk a little trash on the week's worth of sports. I don't know anybody except the Guru, and the Guru knows all.
Man, I know just a little something, man. Just a little something.
Guru, it is episode number 53, and we are already a quarter of the way through the NFL season. Guru's got the contenders, the pretenders, the lurkers, and the surprises so far in this NFL season. Plus, the EARL Thomas era in Seattle appears to come to an end in the worst of all possible ways. We're talking about what this means for players moving forward, particularly VEON Bell and the Steelers. Then, segment 2 brings us Guru's call-outs and shout-outs from week 4. Our Bets with Ben segment featuring Ben Carey from thecurrencykings.com. You know we got a 2-minute drill. And I'm even going to try and put together a game time for us if I have a chance. Guru Trash Talk Radio episode number 53.
Let's roll.
Back at it again, Trash Talk Radio Guru. It is good to see you, my friend. How you doing, man?
Man, you about to pop a blood vessel, man.
It's exciting time, man. This is the best time of year right now, man.
Nah, man. We almost there. Don't premature, man. Don't premature. We still got, what, a week and a half more.
About that, yeah.
When Adam Silver come to town, too, man. Relax.
We got week 4 in the NFL. We got playoff baseball happening.
Woo.
Playoff baseball, Guru.
Playoffs?
Yes.
Man, you can't have a playoff in no major sports league in America without an LA team being involved.
That's true. They got snuck in again this year. Won on the last game 163. They won the division this year. And then, of course, we got the NBA preseason starting. The real season starts up in 2 weeks. Guru, this is one of the best times of year to be a sports fan. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Of course I know what you mean.
All right, but I know you are all about the football season. I got to tell you.
All about that foosball.
I'm finally turning all my attention to football because the Phillies this year collapsed just terribly at the end of the year. This is the first time in a while I am glad for this season to be over. They were so terrible to watch for the past few months, and I'm glad for their season to be over. I'm glad I don't have to watch this team. You ever have an experience like that? Like your favorite team is just so bad, you're like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, every time.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's a Redskins fan.
Yeah, you guys for the last 50 years, too, so it happens.
Oh, man,
yeah.
Every time. You got to bring that up, man.
So, yeah, I get it. I totally get it, man.
So, Guru, let's talk week 4 in the NFL and what we've seen so far going forward. We are a quarter of the way through the season. We talked a little bit last week about separating, seeing who to believe and who not to. We're now 25% in. We are who we think they are.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Guru, tell me just a little bit your impressions at a quarter of the way through the season so far. What are you seeing? Who do you like so far? The contenders, if you will.
Ooh, the contenders. Obviously, it's the first month of the season. So this is getting exciting. It's like you're separating yourself now.
Yeah.
Now you're getting more data. You're getting more information as far as the new team. Because there's always a surprise. There's always a new chemistry. There's always a team that goes down, up and down. But after the first month, that's when you can see smoke now.
Right, because the preseason doesn't really count for anything anyway.
Nobody knows about no preseason. Now you see smoke now. Nobody worried about preseason, man. We see smoke. So now we see what's really going on, what's really happening. So you got teams like what? The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Coming in. You got the teams, everybody's one of the darlings, Saxonville, the Jags.
Look good too.
They're looking good. You obviously know the Pats, the Patriots, always being the Patriots.
Only 2-2.
The usual suspect.
But still,
losing the first month.
Deceptive 2-2.
Like we said, every month it just gets better with them. And they're playing against a division that's, we know what they are.
Worse.
So, and then Pittsburgh is in their feelings, and they go to Guru's Bongos. I might have been a year ahead of myself.
I was thinking that too, man.
I might have been a year ahead of myself. You laughed at me then now, but look at my bongles.
If you remember, this sound, what? was my impression. When you said you were picking the Bengals last year, that's where we got this. What? And this year, you were just a year ahead. They are looking like a real team out there.
A forward thinker, man.
That's
just
it.
A straight forward thinker, man. Me and my man Elon Musk over there, man. Tesla, we always just ahead of the game, baby. Ahead of the game.
You watch yourself.
Pass that Jay real quick on the podcast.
He's a little he's in a little bit of trouble right now.
We got to do the skit, the Elon Musk skit right there. Oh, Pastor. Oh, what is that?
And Trash Talk Radio stock just dropped.
I don't condone smoking weed, ladies.
That's a 10% stock drop right there for Trash Talk Radio. But Guru, you talk about the contenders here, the Chiefs. Obviously, though, the first part of the season is Andy Reid time. This is where he and his team shine. Is this team able to keep going? For the
AFC wise? Yes. Because the AFC is kind of up in the air. Obviously, you have the Brady and company, and it's going through New England again. So it's really a battle of what, like everybody behind New England? Yeah,
it's New England and everyone else.
And so the Chiefs are. If you think about it, everybody else got a question, and the Chiefs have you could say the highest ceiling in a sense out of those teams due to the fact of Andy Reid and Chief Mahomes.
Yeah, Chief Mahomes.
So they do have the highest potential.
They have outscored every other team in the league this year. They have 145 points. It's more than any other team. And it's basically Mahomes, who this week, they're 4-0. Mahomes had an off week, only threw for like 700 yards,
So it's going to be interesting. If Goliath are going this week, I think they're playing the Jags this week. So
that's a big game coming up.
So we're gonna see about that.
This is sort of a heat check for both of those teams because the Jaguars is another team that expected to do well, doing well at the start of the season. You haven't seen anything to make you think, no, this is still a team
like
3-1. We're going with them.
In the AFC wise, everything is stacking up exactly what it is. It's the usual suspect. I think one team that I do like, the Titans. The Titans are my darlings. I love the Titans. I love everything I love everything about the Tennessee Titans. You remember when Seppi was here doing his little South?
Talking to us about the South.
I said, the Titans, what are you talking about? Like, the Titans going to win the division. The Titans, the way they're set up to win. The Titans are just set up to win in November. They're set up to win December. They're set up to win in September. Just the style of play. They're set up to win on the road. They're set up to win on the way. It's just, I love their makeup.
So let's move over to the NFC then and talk about the contenders there so far. Obviously, Jared Goff, Sean McVay, Todd Gurley, and the Rams have just been dominant. They are the team that's the NFC version of the Chiefs, if you will, outscoring everybody else in that conference. What's going on here? Are they the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're for real?
Yeah. The Rams, the thing about them, they are the team, but the thing that scares me, I think they're becoming a finesse team. Obviously, out Gurley, you might not think that, but they do a lot of finesse, but they do a lot of screens, a lot of stuff, a lot of gimmicky stuff, a lot of crossing pattern. Like, it scares me about them because teams like that, when the weather gets crazy, when they do have to play outside, like they need to play inside in December for the offense to be as most effective because it is an aerial attack. Now, imagine them going to Lambeau Field now.
It might get cold.
Oh, yeah. Those aerial attacks is going to be different because I tell you one thing. Brandon Cooks, you might do a 4-3, but I ain't never seen you do a 4-3 in the snow.
That's slow him down.
That,
might slow him down to a 4-4.
Yeah, they're just certain different because I believe the Rams lost in Philly last year, right?
They did
in the outside game. So for them, it's very important that they get home field because of their style of play. So that's my belief. But the team that scares me the most, and I think is the scariest team, and it's because they have basically the scariest guy in football, is the Panthers.
The Panthers?
Yeah.
And they got Cam Newton, is that?
Exactly. Because Cam Newton, with Cam, he could play anywhere because of his style of play. He could play inside, outside, anywhere. His game is predicated on power and bullyish mentality, and that travels everywhere.
And it seems like this year they figured out how to use McCaffrey as well. They're getting him in there.
Norv Turner.
Yeah.
Norv Turner, great head coach, man. I mean, great offensive coordinator, one of the best offensive mind in the history of the game. Norv Turner, man. Going to be a Hall of Famer when everything's said and done. He should be a Hall of Fame coach, man.
So that can't be the only contenders there. You got to have a couple more in the NFC.
Yeah, obviously. New Orleans.
The Saints.
New Orleans. The Orleans is the same thing kind of with the Rams. They need to be in an inside setting. They got because of their style of play.
Drew Brees setting records this weekend.
I mean, Drew Brees doing Drew Brees. Before he's done, he might throw for 6,000 yards. Who knows, you know? So New Orleans
still probably won't win a Super Bowl, but yeah, or another. Does he have one?
The Saints are definitely a team. You know, they're darling. They're a sexy team. They're doing exactly what they're doing. And lastly, what else do I like over there? The defending champs.
I was wondering if they were going to come up.
Yeah, the defending champs because they're going to get better.
They've had a couple of disappointing losses, close end, but Carson Wentz is back. He looked like he's playing well. This game this weekend, a very discouraging loss if you're an Eagles fan, as they were up, seemed to have it in hand.
They played against a team, like I told you, like this is a battle. Yo, when you play against the Titans, man, it's like they remind me of the Ravens and the Tampa Bay Bucks of back in the past. Like it's a lunch spot, but you better come in and play. They're gonna smack you in the mouth, dude, and they're gonna stand there and see what you're gonna do. This is not it's not no cute shit. This is ugly.
Is it a team that's playing for real?
Yeah, man, this team is for real,
cute.
man. I love the Titans, man.
All right, so let's talk about the pretenders then, because there's got to be a couple of these teams in here that have jumped out to quick starts or that we're not sure about, and that maybe stuck in their feelings. Who do we got pretending so far this year?
Oh man, those guys in South Beach, man. That ain't fool me, man. I told them that ain't fool the Guru,
but they were 3-0 before losing to the Patriots.
Yeah, you know, in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they probably about to be 3-3. And you're just going to see a slide because they are who we think they are.
They are who we think they are. The Dolphins, obviously, not going to be keeping up this pace.
I think they got the Bengals next game, and I don't see that. So that could be a 2-game slide. So I really don't see I don't see the Dolphins keeping this up. So they're a pretender.
Okay.
All right. And the other pretender in the AFC is the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Everybody's so-called contender coming in, you know, but the Guru's always worried about them. You know, I've been worried about this team, man. For
a couple years you've been worried about this team.
Too emotional team. They're like the Guru, man. When you're so emotional, you get irrational, you know? And when you get irrational, you can't be trusted, man. You know, so at times, but they do too often. That's the Guru in the past when the Guru was younger. You know, now the Guru is not less emotional. You know, he's just more excited. Now I make very good decisions.
Yeah, that's what they say about you. That Guru, he makes good decisions.
That's what it is. Good decision Guru, man. But, you know, needless to say, we all know what's going on in Pittsburgh, man. Like, it's a mess. Something got to be done. Come on, man. It's going to go downhill from here.
All right, so then do we have any pretenders in the NFC then?
Yeah, we do got some pretenders in the NFC, man. Similar to the Steelers, the Falcons.
The Falcons. A disappointing start. After coming out strong and beating the Eagles in Week 1.
They didn't beat the Eagles.
Oh, that's right. They did not beat the Eagles in Week 1, and they have picked up, what are they, 1-3 now on the course of the year? Mm-hmm. Disappointing start to a very high-powered offense.
Yeah, injury riddle. They lost a lot of key guys on defense. Neil, Ricardo, basically the secondary is in shambles. No excuses. This team is prompt. They have an offense. They have a good coaching staff. So systematically, they should have had the depth a little bit. They don't need superstar players, but they should have had some people in line to hold this in place. They have too many good players in that team, man. So I'm very shocked. I didn't see this coming, but injuries happen. So I don't think Atlanta. That division is too tough, man.
Yeah, they seem to have fallen to a point where it's going to be tough to come back from over the long haul. All right, give us one more pretender here.
Hey, my own pretender. I was going to tell people because everybody's going to say this, but the Guru is always going to make sure I pull this out there. The Green Bay Packers, man.
The Green Bay Packers.
The Green Bay Packers.
Man, you always picking on Aaron Rodgers.
Why do you always got to say I'm picking on Aaron Rodgers?
You're always picking on Aaron Rodgers, man.
How am I picking on Aaron Rodgers?
Any chance you get.
Dude, they're just a pretender, man. You know, because really, you know, it's Aaron Rodgers. With Aaron Rodgers playing, he has to play an A+ game every single game.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Every quarter for them to do anything. So that's what I'm saying. He's not capable of doing that anymore, man. He can't do that. You might do that A+ performance for 3 quarters, but there's going to be a time, and I've seen that. I saw that in the Vikings game. I saw it against the Redskins. I seen a little inclination in this game that I'm kind of worried about. People might say it's the injury, but I think Green Bay really, they're a passing team. They have no running game. Everything is based on his arm, and Aaron Rodgers is going to force things, and I just don't see them be a legitimate Super Bowl contender.
You're not impressed by them beating the Bills this week? The Buffalo Bills?
Like I said, I don't see that happening. I don't
Come on, man.
I see them winning games, but like I said, they're not a real threat. You know, I see them winning games, but they're not a real threat as far as the long haul.
All right. So let's talk about the lurkers. I want to talk about these teams that could sneak in towards the end of the season. Guys that you're watching now and you're like, you know what? They got a couple breaks go their way. They could make this run. Who you got lurking back there?
A couple teams. AFC-wise, the Chargers, obviously.
Now, they were your Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, they're still there. It's still my Super
Still
Bowl
lurking
pick.
in the back
They're
from
lurking because I like how they do it because you want to get better every week. You know what I mean? You want to improve. I don't want you to play your best. I don't want you to climax, in week 4, week 5, like the Dolphins. I don't need you to do that. Tampa Bay. I don't need you to climax early.
Right.
I want you to, just like the Eagles are doing, just like the Vikings are doing, you're going to incrementally take steps. Gradual progression. So I love how the Chargers are doing it because Joey Bosa is going to come eventually.
Eventually, he's got to play.
He got to play. So that's an A+ player added to all the team that's coming in. So I mean, you don't get that type of addition that late or any time in the season, and any team will get that. So we're going to see that happening. I love the Ravens too, man.
The Ravens.
Yeah. I think people don't like Joe Flacco. People like Ben. But one thing is, I could tell you, when your job is on the line, when you're in a relationship and the wife is like, you know what, this guy is cute, you haven't been in the gym for a while, there's something that just happened to you. You know what? Let me go get a membership in the gym.
So you're saying
when somebody gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna draft a first-round quarterback.
We're bringing a young stud, gonna make Joe Flacco do some workout.
You know what? Your fans, all the girls, when the wife is like, it's like you used to look like this. You do a little extra workout.
Ooh,
so for this season, I think Joe Flacco got a sense of like, I'll show you. You remember, this is me.
That's right.
I gave you this ring. I gave you this belt. This is me. You married me. Remember that. You gave me the $100 million. You accepted this. Don't forget who I am. So I think Joe Flacco is going to have this season like that.
Joe Flacco was Blake Bortles before it was cool. All right, so who else is lurking back there for us? We got the Ravens and the Chargers lurking in the AFC and the Bengals. Now, you were picking the Bengals last year, as we said before, and that, like I said, caused me to what? Mm-hmm. But you just appear to be a year ahead. This is a team that's really starting to put it together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, I love the Bengals.
3-1. The 3-1 Cincinnati Bengals.
And the thing is, though, the addition with Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is the top 7 running back in the league with a top 5 talent. So when he comes back with that knee cleanup injury, week 8, week 9, whenever he comes back, that's going to be another element they add in Cincinnati. So watch out for him, man, because it's not about Andy Dalton as much no more because they're going to have a legitimate running game. They're going to have a total offense. They have a speedster. They have an intermediate with Tyler Boyd. I know Tyler Eifert got hurt again, but they have another tight end. I mean, they just have elements with A.J. Green. I love the element. It comes down to Marvin Lewis, but I think those guys could play, man. They're going to put up points.
All right, so give me a couple of lurkers in the NFC then. Is there anybody hanging back there that you think might strike?
Yeah, absolutely. My HTTR to the Redskins, man.
Really? You think they can come up?
I think the Redskins, just because the division is the Giants are really, really bad.
They're not good.
They're really bad. The Cowboys are really, really, really averagely bad.
Yeah.
So it could be anyone's division. Just because, and the Eagles are not used to being this. They still got to get adjusted to being this type of team consistently. As far as a championship team, not a contender, but a championship team. So, and that means whenever you go every Sunday, you're taking the best of every team every Sunday. So I think this year they're going to get adjusted to that, so their record is not going to be as strong. So I'll give the Redskins a shot.
Give the Redskins a shot. The 2-1 Redskins currently
first in the division,
sitting at first because they had a bye this week.
I mean,
so
why you gotta? Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, you got to put that extra.
I'm just saying.
You can't help it. You look at it. It says first. You can say because of this, because of that. They didn't make the schedule.
All right, fine, DMV boy. Let's talk about who else we got lurking in the NFC.
Oh yeah, the Panthers. Everybody's quiet. You notice how nobody's talking about Cam?
No, yeah, they're a sneaky, very good team back there.
Cam just doing Cam job. Cam's still laughing. Cam's become one of my favorite players, dude. I mean, I love his emotion up and down. Like I told you, I'm not an emotional guy with him, but with Cam, it's kind of humorous for me because it's kind of childishly, immaturely cool. So I kind of dig it. So they're lurking, man. They got everything going around. Nerve turners turned out going around. The defense is always strong with Luke. So I definitely sense something happening, man. Keep pounding. And it seems like Carolina do this every other year. They suck, and then they come back the year strong. They suck, and they come back strong. So this is the comeback strong year.
Takes me a year to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Anybody else in the NFC we should watch for that just might sneak up on us?
You know what? The sneaky thing, man. Something might be special going on in the Windy City, man.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Now, you were telling me, it's funny you bring this up, because last week you were telling us that Mitchell Trubisky was terrible, and he heard you and threw, 6, 7, 27 touchdowns this week?
The good thing is I said Mitch Trubisky is terrible, but I never said Nagy's terrible.
I
never said Matt Nagy's terrible. Boy, did you see the play calling, man? I could have throw those touchdowns out there, man. Are you serious? Don't let Mitch fool you, man. Mitch the kid, you ain't fool me, man. The gurus on that film, man. I saw Nagy, man. Those play callings, one read, those guys were wide open because of design. So,
I wondered how you'd get out of that one.
Anyways, I love the Bears. Obviously, they're led by Khalil Mack.
Yeah, and a new guy on the team.
They're led by Khalil Mack.
Leading that defense.
Let's just be led by Khalil Mack. Because let me tell you how
best player on that team.
The thing is, let me tell you this little bit about Mitch and Nagy, right? Last year, Mitch Trubisky, total touchdown all season, 7. Last week, with Nagy's play calling, he had 6.
They give him 7 on the year again, right?
Come on, man. With the 6 in one game, and he had 7 the whole season.
So you're saying he hit his quota?
I'm just saying.
All right, so anything else we need to know about this young season going forward? You got any other thoughts on the season that we've seen so far, or we just let it?
It's a month in, and I think right now that's where we stand. Obviously next month is gonna get it's gonna get smaller.
Have you adjusted your picks at all? I guess. Are you still seeing the Chargers and the Vikings?
No, I didn't adjust that.
Still making that run.
They're still making that run.
All right.
We're in the right situation right now. Just lurking.
I
want us to lurk in the first month.
That's what I like to hear.
Just like the Patriots. I'm not worried about it. You remember last year, you know what the Patriots record was at this time? 2-2.
Probably 2-2.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just lurk, man. The Eagles, you think they were undefeated?
I don't think so.
Exactly. So let's just lurk, man.
Just lurk.
The only person I was talking about the Eagles was the guru. It felt like a whole last year.
That's true, man. I didn't even believe for the most part of that.
Just lurk right now. Carolina lurk. Look, put it like this. One of my lurks is going to be a Super Bowl in the Super Bowl.
That's what I like to hear. All right, Guru. Before we move on to segment 2, we got to talk one more thing here from Week 4, and that is Earl Thomas. We saw Earl Thomas go down with a broken leg at the end of the Seahawks game. Now he has been holding in, if you will, for this team. He has been not showing up to practices because he's trying to get a new contract. He's trying to get the long-term deal. And what he was saying was, in case there's an injury, like we saw Richard Sherman get last year, I want to be protected. Either sign me for the long term or trade me to somebody who will sign me for the long term. It's created a lot of problems. This was the worst possible outcome here, in that everybody's worst prediction came to be. He seems to have broken his leg, ending his season, could end his tenure with the Seahawks. Gave the finger to the sidelines as he was taken off there on the cart, and I don't know, man. It seems to me that there's no coming back from that. I don't see him again on the field in the Seahawks uniform, and I'm guessing he was aiming that not at the team, but at the management of the Seahawks, more at the organization. But Guru, I don't know, man. What do you think on this? And this is why he wanted the big contract, and why they were not necessarily wanting to give him a big contract. This is the worst possible outcome as near as I can tell. What do you think on this?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
it's an ugly ending.
Well, shit, man. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's an ugly ending. Like, that's what you said. You said it's a bad. It's
the worst of all worlds.
It's the worst of all worlds. But overall, the Seahawks organization didn't do nothing wrong.
See, and that was my question for you, because I was thinking that, as from a player standpoint, as someone who used to play.
It's all about getting your check. I'm a true believer in getting your check, dude. You got to get your check. But, the methodology, the method of how you get it is different from each individual. You know, Earl is an emotional individual. You know, everything he does is emotional. So he's got away with the emotion. That's what got him great. You know, so those get him all passionate. So I understand that aspect of things because you don't want to take that away. But there's certain things you just draw the line. You know, there's just certain things as far as being an adult. You know, being grown, being have life experience, being a husband, being a father. You know, there's something different about that. But the gesture you did was you can't do that. You know, just because you didn't get your way, because when it came down to it, you didn't get your way because you want your way.
Yeah.
That's what you want. So now, you being a father, what message are you sending? You know, you have a child. Like, life is not, you're not going to get your way in life. Yes, I'm coming from another perspective, but at the end of the day, if you really know life, this is life. It's not a game. He didn't get his way in life. So then what he did, he got emotional. And the funny thing, this is a business. There's no emotion. The Seahawks don't have no animosity towards Earl. You know, this was a marriage, but it's just like that 50% of what marriages that happen in America that get divorced, it got divorced. Irreconcilable differences because of emotions. Mm-hmm. You know, they didn't see things eye to eye. One person thought they were more valuable than the other.
And see, I thought that Earl Thomas was actually handling the situation as perfectly as one can. You know, as a fan, I think to myself, you signed that contract, go play. Why are you holding out now? That's your contract. You signed it. If you didn't like it, why'd you sign it? And I understand him wanting the guarantees going forward, but I like that he played. Unlike Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh, who is still holding out for sort of the same thing. So what does the Earl Thomas injury, what do you think this means for Le'Veon Bell?
That's the thing about Earl. Like, you didn't have to play, dude. You could have done Le'Veon Bell. Why did he play? Like, what's...
And see, I like that he played. I like that he fulfilled that obligation of his contract.
Of his contract.
Yeah.
Okay, he played.
He played, and it cost him. It was exactly what he worried about. But I like that he played, and I think from a fan standpoint, that's gonna sustain something. You know, if my team is looking to sign Earl Thomas next year, I know he's a gamer, if nothing else. I know he's going to come in and do what he promised, even if he's sitting out the practices because he has a headache. I know that he's going to be there on Sunday and he's going to give it his all. What do you think this means for Le'Veon Bell going forward? Is his time in Pittsburgh done? He says he still wants to play there.
The funny thing is, Le'Veon Bell is more of a business than anything else, you know, because unlike Earl, Le'Veon is not in a contract, right? Le'Veon was the franchise Le'Veon.
Yeah.
It was a different situation. Earl is in a contract. Le'Veon did his obligation, and he chose not to sign a 1 year. He's doing nothing wrong. Le'Veon is more outright here than Earl. What you said, Earl, because of obligation. He has no obligation. He's not in no contract.
Le'Veon doesn't have a contract?
Yes.
Because they franchise him and they haven't signed him.
Franchise, that means it's a contract for him to sign. So if he don't sign because he don't agree with it, what is he doing wrong?
So where will he be next year?
That's what I'm getting at, though, as a fan point. What is he doing wrong?
See, and you know what? I guess it's because he should be playing.
Because he's doing the right thing. I don't agree with what you pay my value, so I'm not going to sign what you give me. That's what the whole point of it is.
But then why is he going to be there?
Right.
He's going to be there they say he's going to be there week 7 or week 8 to show up and play. I assume that he has some sort of contract signed.
No, because he has to. Before he comes, he has to sign that.
Okay.
Yeah, he has to sign that because he knows it's a business. That's all this is. It's a business, man. You know, if Earl wants to handle the business the way he did, that's the way. There's many ways of handling business. Earl wants to flick off, do it that way, show his emotion. Le'Veon wants to sit back, be like, look, I know how this game works. I'll do the Le'Veon way. You know, I know that's the easy way. I know how this works because at the end of the day, my value is not decreasing. Just because you look at me a certain way, I'm still going to get paid. You know, this is going to wash off because it's about how much body pain you intake. Earl took it the other way around. That's the game. That's the point of the game. Because the organization get rid of you because how much you got beat up. That's why is Le'Veon is doing it the right way.
So, you know, I never really thought about it in those terms that he hasn't signed that contract. I thought
he's got no obligation to nobody.
Yeah, because if he hasn't signed yet, then it doesn't really matter.
Yes. So if he could take 2 years if he wants. He chose not to. What Earl did, Earl signed his. So that's what I'm saying. Like, who? There is nobody's fault, dude. He signed his. Nobody said, "Hey, the organization is if you don't sign this, you never play football again." Oh my gosh, no.